deep state runs deeper than we thought. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, shortly after I win the presidency, I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled, and it would have never happened. It would have never, ever happened if I was there. I used to talk to Putin about it. I've said it very openly. I talked to him about it. It was the apple of his eye. I said, don't do it, Vladimir. Don't do it, Vladimir. Oh, you'll be making such a mistake. And I told him a couple of things. He said, you wouldn't do that. I said, yes, I will. No, you wouldn't. And he probably didn't believe me, but he believed me 10%. That's all you needed. But I said, don't do it. As soon as I left, they started to form, and we saw the handwriting. And then we had the disaster of Afghanistan, which I think was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, and the press doesn't even want to talk about it anymore. The most embarrassing moment in the history of our country, and Putin saw that, and China saw that, and they saw that we had a lot of very incompetent people, and it was a rough time. But we'll get that done. We'll get it done very quickly. As the Bible says, blessed are the peacemakers. You know that, right? Blessed are the peacemakers. I made peace. Remember, Hillary said, he will take us into war. No, I took us out of all these wars. I got us out of Syria, got us out of Iraq. I protected Israel. They would have been in a big problem. But I'll be your peacemaker, and I am the only candidate who can make this promise to you. I will prevent World War III. We are very close to World War III. Let me tell you, we are very close to World War III, and World War III will be like no other because of the power of the weaponry. The weaponry we have today is just incredible, and others have, by the way. But I will prevent World War III, and I'll heal our relationship with the state of Israel to reverse the damage that crooked Joe Biden has done. Unlike Biden, I'll not be giving the $6 billion as ransom to countries for five people. I will stop the disaster known as Bidenomics. He thinks it's good. You know, Bidenomics started up being a really bad thing, and they use it as a negative expression, but he liked the sound of it, so now he's trying to promote it as being a wonderful thing. But it really means inflation, taxation, submission, and failure. Other than that, it's quite good. Those are four pretty cool things, aren't they? But not if you have to live with it like the people of our country have to do. I will regain energy independence as we had 3 years ago and achieve energy dominance. You know, we have more liquid gold I call it liquid gold. That's what it is. We have more liquid gold than Saudi Arabia or Russia, than anybody. And we were going to be drilling, and we were drilling, and we were filling up the strategic reserves, which now he's emptied to the lowest level ever. You know that, right? The lowest level ever, in order to keep gasoline prices down on people so they'd vote for a Democrat. But artificial, very artificial. Now it's up to $5, I see. Gasoline is up to $5, $6, $7 in some places. It's going up very rapidly. But America was going to have, we're going to make so much money. We're going to sell to Europe, oil and gas, sell it to Europe. And we were going to start paying off our $35 trillion in debt. And we were going to lower taxes still further. We're going to do great things, but when they came in, they ended everything. And that's what caused inflation. Energy caused inflation. Now everything's causing inflation. It's a mess. And the numbers came out yesterday that inflation is absolutely not in control. And inflation's a nation killer, by the way. You go back 200 years and 100 years, you look at any nation that's had rampant inflation, they die. Those nations die. America will have the #1 lowest cost of energy and electricity anywhere in the world. We'll do that. You know, New England pays the highest in the country, and I explained to them, I said, you know, they can't get a pipe going through upstate New York, where everyone wants it to go through because they want the jobs, because it's really in bad shape. And if that happened, you'd cut it in half immediately. Instead, ships come, many from Russia. Can you believe it? They were all coming from Russia, and they load it up and they give it to New England, but it's very expensive. They have the highest prices for energy. They should never vote for a Democrat, I'll tell you that. They do, they tend to, but they should never even think about it. Under my, and you have to see this because we have something incredible, really incredible planned, and some incredible things, but upon my inauguration, I'll terminate every open borders policy of the Biden administration and quickly achieve the most secure border in U.S. history, as we had 3 years ago. We had the most successful border 3 years ago, we built nearly 500 miles of border wall. That's all certified stuff, by the way. You know, they like to say, well, he didn't build the wall. It wasn't easy when you had Paul Rhino. Do you know who Paul Rhino is? Paul Ryan? Paul Rhino, and you had Mitch McConnell, and they fought so hard, and I got it anyway, and I got it done. Then we were going to add 200 more miles, and that was all set to go, and then we had the election situation take place, that horrible situation, horrible day in our, and it's going to go down as that. It'll be a horrible day in our country's history, and because of that, I said, these guys don't want to finish. It would have taken 3 weeks to put up another 200 miles of wall. It was all there. It was all ready to be assembled. But we got Mexico to give us 28,000 soldiers free of charge. You know, they always say, Mexico, Mexico. Well, Mexico paid fortunes for that. We had 28,000 soldiers free of charge. You know, when they say Mexico didn't pay, Mexico paid much more for that because I needed that. We didn't have to worry about the war. We got that from the military because I considered it an invasion, so I took it out of the military, which is just a small portion of their budget. But I took it out because that was an invasion. But Mexico, we had 28,000 soldiers free of charge, and it wasn't easy to get either. I went to them, and I said, you got to give us 28,000 soldiers to protect us from people pouring through your country. And they smiled at me, and they said, why would we do that? Which is probably what everybody would say. I said, no, you're going to do it. You're going to do it, 100%. And the person, a woman, very nice woman, she was actually good, but she never won anything in 25 years from Mexico. But she worked on Mexico for 25 years. She said, sir, we've been asking for things like that for 25 years. They're never going to give it to you. I said, absolutely, 100%. Not 90%, not 95, 100%. They're going to give it to us. Sir, they won't. And we asked for other things like remain in Mexico and all sorts of things, Title 42. So I said, give me a list of your top 10 things, and they wrote it down. The Border Patrol wrote down things. Border Patrol's great. ICE wrote down things. They're great. These are great patriots. These are tough guys. They all wrote down 10 things. But the big thing was the 28,000 soldiers, I guess you'd say. And